Dear students, welcome to this online class. Today we are going to learn the chapter The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. In this chapter, Khushwant Singh gives us a humorous account of his grandmother. He had an association of almost 20 years with his grandmother. I've divided this chapter into two parts, and today we will learn part 1. Come, let us read this chapter and learn the story. Students, let's read the lesson, The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. My grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. She had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. In The Portrait of a Lady, Khushwant Singh gives an account of his grandmother. He draws a life-like portrait, or this is a pen picture of his grandmother. She was very old. Her face was wrinkled. Her hair was white. And it was hard to believe that once she had been young and pretty. As I told you, in this lesson, the author Khushwant Singh gives us a humorous account of his grandmother. The first part of the lesson gives us the first stage of the author's relationship with his grandmother. Khushwant Singh's grandmother was closely involved in bringing him up when the author lived with her in the village during his early life. People said that she had once been young and pretty and had even had a husband. But that was hard to believe. My grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. Mantelpiece means a shelf fixed to a wall above the fireplace. In areas or countries or regions where extreme winter is experienced, people usually have fireplaces, and a shelf above that fireplace is called as a mantelpiece. So what do we understand here? People said that once she was young and pretty. Pretty means beautiful, good looking. And then she had a husband. And her husband, my grandfather, his portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room of their house. We also read in the lesson that his grandfather wore a big turban and loose-fitting clothes. His long white beard covered the best part of his chest, and he looked at least 100 years old. He looked as if he could only have lots and lots of grandchildren. Students, note the humorous way he gives a picture of his grandmother as well as grandfather. And he says that it was very hard to believe that she had a husband because she was so old. And also he gives an account of his grandfather who was very, very old. We proceed. She often told us of the games she used to play as a child. That seemed quite absurd and undignified on her part, and we treated it like the fables of the prophets she used to tell us. Absurd means ridiculous. Fables means old stories. Children play so many games and his grandmother too played different games, and whenever she used to tell them about the games that she used to play, he thought that they were all absurd, and he did not like to believe in them, and he treated it as the old stories she used to tell them. Students, as children we play many games. You might have also played so many games, but what would happen is, in future, the posterity may not believe your stories. They may say that whatever you tell them, you may be bluffing them. They may not believe in what you tell them. So the same thing happens here. When grandmother told Khushwant Singh and others about the games played by her as a child, he or they did not believe in them. We move on. She hobbled about the house in spotless white, with one hand resting on her waist to balance a stoop and the other telling beads of a rosary. Khushwant Singh's grandmother was short, fat and slightly bent. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles running from everywhere to everywhere. The grandmother was old, so terribly old that she could not have grown older, and had stayed at that age for 20 years. Here we read that Khushwant Singh's grandmother hobbled about the house. Hobble means walk like a lame person. Hobble. To walk like a lame person. Stoop means bent of the body. And in order to balance the bend of the body, she rested one hand on her waist. And that was in order to balance a stoop. And the other hand was telling the beads of a rosary. She always carried a rosary with her, and she used to use the rosary to tell the beads. She was telling the beads of her rosary. Thus here we learn that his grandmother could not walk straight, and she hobbled about the house, and she had to keep one hand on her waist. It was to balance her stoop. In the other hand, she held a rosary. She was always telling the beads, and her lips constantly moved in prayer. And also, she put on white clothes. After a breakfast of a thick stale chapati with a little butter and sugar spread on it, we went to school. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. Khushwant Singh's grandmother used to wake him up in the morning and get him ready for school. She said her morning prayer in a monotonous sing-song while she bathed and dressed him, in the hope that he would listen and get to know it by heart. Khushwant Singh listened because he loved her voice but never bothered to learn it. Then she would get him ready with his wooden slate, which had already been washed and plastered with yellow chalk, and a tiny earthen ink pot and a red pen. Tie them all in a bundle and hand it over to him. Then after breakfast, he along with his grandmother went to school. And his grandmother carried several stale chapatis. Stale means not fresh. She carried stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. She was in the habit of feeding the village dogs on her way back from the school, and she used to meet these dogs at the temple gate and used to feed them. So here it shows that she cared for these animals by feeding them with chapatis. My grandmother always went to school with me because the school was attached to the temple. The priest taught us the alphabet and the morning prayer. Khushwant Singh's grandmother accompanied Khushwant Singh to the school. She did so because the school was attached to the temple. She could go to the temple and could read the scriptures. While she was in the temple reading the scriptures, the priest used to teach Khushwant Singh and others to sing the alphabet and the morning prayer. This shows that Khushwant Singh's grandmother was very religious, and therefore she accompanied Khushwant Singh to the school so that she could read the scriptures while sitting in the temple. She could pray there and she could also read the scriptures. My grandmother sat inside reading the scriptures. When we had both finished, we would walk back together. This time, the village dogs would meet us at the temple door. They followed us to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. When Khushwant Singh and other companions were singing the alphabet and the morning prayer, his grandmother used to sit in the temple and read the scriptures. And when they both finished, that is Khushwant Singh finished his lessons, his class, and when his grandmother finished reading scriptures, they would go back to their home. And on their way, they used to meet the village dogs at the temple door. And they were fed chapatis by the grandmother. It's said here, they followed us to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. So we stand for Khushwant Singh and his grandmother. So his grandmother was in the habit of feeding the village dogs, and she did it every day on their way back home from the school and from the temple, because the school was attached to the temple. Therefore, his grandmother used to accompany him. When Khushwant Singh studied the alphabet and morning prayer, his grandmother used to go to the temple and read the scriptures. When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. That was a turning point in our friendship. Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. Here we come to the second stage of Khushwant Singh's relationship with his grandmother. That is his boyhood, when he went to the city school. He went to the city school in a bus. Thus here we read, the narrator's parents that is Khushwant Singh's parents, sent for them, that is Khushwant Singh and his grandmother, sent for them in the city. It was a turning point in their friendship. They shared the same room, but grandmother no longer went to school with him. Their shifting to the city is thus an important point in their friendship. It's mentioned as a turning point in their friendship. They were in the same room, shared the same room, but grandmother no longer accompanied him to his school. Now, they had to shift to the city when Khushwant Singh's parents were comfortably settled in the city. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the streets, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of our city house. The grandmother and Khushwant Singh, they shifted to city because his parents sent for them in the city. And we have also learned that it was a turning point in their friendship. Now, grandmother no longer went to school with him. He used to go to an English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the streets, so grandmother took to feeding the sparrows in their courtyard. So here we learn that since Khushwant Singh had been going to the city school in a motor bus, she did not accompany him. And since there were no dogs for her to feed, she started feeding sparrows in the courtyard of their city house. When I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. I would tell her English words and little things of Western science and learning, the law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, the world being round, etc. Years rolled by, they saw less of each other. Sometimes Khushwant Singh's grandmother would ask him what the teacher had taught him. She did not believe in the things they taught at the English school. She was unhappy. Students, we have already seen that Khushwant Singh and his grandmother shifted to the city when his parents sent for them, and now his grandmother does not accompany him to the city school. He goes to the city school in a motor bus. And whenever she used to get time, his grandmother got time, she asked him about the things that he was taught at the school. And he told her that he was taught English words, and he used to tell her English words and also little things of Western science and learning. He also told about law of gravity and Archimedes' principle and the fact the world being round, etc. Khushwant Singh's grandmother did not believe in these things. She had her own ideas, and it was difficult for her to believe that the world is round, the world being round. Some people then believed that the earth was flat. So, she did not like the things Khushwant Singh was taught at the city school. This made her unhappy. She could not help me with my lessons. She did not believe in the things they taught me at the English school and was distressed that there was no teaching about God and the scriptures. Students, the things taught at the English school made Khushwant Singh's grandmother unhappy. She did not like English or science. She felt sad that there was no teaching about God and the scriptures at school. She was all the more unhappy when one day the narrator told her that they were being given music lessons. She was very disturbed. She thought music quite indecent and not good for the gentle folk like theirs. After that, she rarely talked with Khushwant Singh. When Khushwant Singh told her that they were given lessons in music, she did not like it. She thought learning music as something indecent. Students, let me tell you in a nutshell what we have read so far. I told you this is a humorous account by Khushwant Singh. Khushwant Singh's grandmother is very, very old, and he could in no way believe that once upon a time she was pretty, and they lived together in the village when his parents were away to the city, and later they shifted to the city when his parents asked for. And from that time onwards, his grandmother could not help him because he went to the city school in a motor bus. And she did not like the subjects those were taught at the English school in the city. We end part 1 of this chapter. Students, copies of the relevant pages of the textbook, word meanings, and a few questions and answers had been sent to your WhatsApp group. I hope you have already read the chapter and you have prepared yourself. Read the lesson thoroughly, write the word meanings in your notebook, and also take down all the question answers in your notebook. Okay, students, keep safe.